Hey, yo, whoa. We are back. We are back with another episode. Another episode of Ski's Opinion with your gracious and humble host, Ski. That's right, people. We are back here with a new episode of Ski's Opinion. I go over our everyday topics, things that's happening in the world. Give my opinion on them, my interpretation, sprinkle my 2 cents on, everyday topics. So let's jump right into the show, people. I ain't got to hold y'all here forever today. So try to make this quick, and we gonna make this entertaining, and we gonna have some fun. So let's do it. First story I want to jump into, you guys, is cash money. Have y'all heard that cash money and no limit? Yes, I said it, you guys. No limit is going on tour, All right, so I'm going to say, as much as we heard about or was like disappointed in the verses with them, which I wouldn't say really disappointed because there was some nostalgia there. I think it could have been put together better, right? If you could have got Wayne there, if you could have got Turk there, if you could have got, everybody there, Mystical would have been out, C Murder would have been out, man, would have been perfect. Nice, combo coming together, but it's kind of like patched together, you guys, right? But I'm gonna be real with you. The nostalgia, you know what I'm saying, and for what it is, if it's happening this summer, if it's sliding through where I'm at, your boy might be there. No, I'm just messing around. But for real though, on the serious side, I shall probably be there. To check out that show because, like I said, that was a time in my life that I went through. That was a part of the soundtrack of my life. I could say, right? Um, People don't take or put stock in that anymore, like phases and journeys and things that you went through in your life that, like that music or that set or time, whatever, I could bring back something, the memories and, you could relive, childhood fantasies and reminisce of a simpler time, right? When you didn't have so much to worry about and so many responsibilities for life, right? So you're gonna get a lot of people there from that, You're gonna get me there because of that, But I gotta speak on what's been happening, as far as the show. Everybody know y'all been hearing, the back and forth that's been going on with all of these guys as far as not everybody showing, right? So I'm gonna tap into the cash money side of it first. And it's obvious because my brother is probably the loudest voice that's out now, having something to say about what's been going on and how it's been going, right? And that'll be Turk. So Turk being left out of the reunions and the verses and all of that stuff, I would say is a bad look. And I don't think that it fared well because of that, right? When this is a nostalgia type moment, right? I don't think neither of the CEOs really need the money like that, but to try and stop the people who was a part of y'all being where y'all led to not need it, to try and stop for those persons who participated in, the foundation, or part of the foundation of what y'all built, to not get no money. And because you have a problem or disagreement with this person, it don't make sense to me because it's hurting your money. Like I said, I don't think that they need it. I don't think P or Baby need it, the show. They straight, they eating in perpetuity off of these people catalogs and the music that they put out. But the rest of them need it, man. So to exclude Turk is wrong. So and I think that karma has been playing a part in that, because I think you even hearing, discrepancies and things about people going to see Cash Money shows and only one person showing up, that being Juvenile or something, or him and Manny. And they disappointed because they were looking for everybody, But these dudes are I'm gonna say, jagging off bags as well, And the one who probably is talking a lot, like I said, and that would be Turk, and probably is irritating and hard to deal with, but probably is one of the more professional ones. Not saying that the other ones aren't. Like I could say, Wayne, he probably got his whole team and everything together. It's gonna be lucrative and it's gonna happen, to the way. But do you got him a part of it? Because I think he see it's a lot of messy stuff going on that he don't want no parts of, or his name even a part of, because the way that they doing it, I think, is messy. So I don't think that he wants to be a part of it, and I don't blame him, right? I know Turk need it, right? And I just saw a clip about Beehive. Go check out Beehive, Radio Shorty. Beehive TV, his podcast, him and Wicked was on there talking about Turk being excluded, and they have a point, right? They got a point with Turk being excluded, but they said something about Turk going around to like Walmart and Lowe's and doing shows in the park. I don't mean to laugh, you guys. I don't, like they explain, when you being excluded or cut or held back from something that you helped build and you should be a part of or included in, and it's not going to happen, you can't sit there and boo-hoo, you got to get out there and go get it. So I don't know exactly what's going on with Turk and how he's doing what he's doing. Wicked said he's going to go out there and perform with him, as well. I don't know about the turnout. I don't know how it works, right? So I don't want to knock anything. But I will say, it's a hustler's move, right? Y'all gonna do y'all thing in the stadium or whatever. I'll go hit the parking lot, right? And do it like back in the day when we first started doing this music thing, right? He take it back to Brad Terry. Said that people, making CDs now and delivering those, direct to consumer at this point. And blacks as well, so it's a lot of money and a lot of things, and it's a lot of nostalgia that's going on. So people, running and grabbing paper, to each his own with that and getting money off of doing that. And I would say, do your thing. Do your thing. I would not knock, anybody going out there and getting some money off that, because it makes sense to me to go get it. But that's all I got on the Cash Money No Limit tour. So let's stay tuned and figure out what's going on. And I would say, brothers, we are older, we black, nobody supports us. I think it's time, well over time, for us to start supporting and actually being there for each other and stop all this cutthroat thing, I was thinking about how they said, like, well, a black person own a label and they give out the same standard contracts as the big labels do, and then they get the blame, but you don't say nothing about the white folks. Well, I'm gonna say this about the white folk. Yeah, they do study those practices, and then they taught the brothers to do it, and the brothers do it to us. But you won't catch them doing that to their own. They're only doing that to us. They do that to us, make millions off our back, but they don't do it to their own. He gonna give his son the record label, or he gonna make him your manager, right? He ain't gonna hurt his own. So that's what I'm saying as far as us as people, black people here, let's look out a little bit more for each other, you guys, right? And stop downing and grabbing and pulling at each other. And this is the next topic that I'm gonna go into kind of touches on this, right? So I want to touch on the Charlamayne the God versus academics. That's what I said I put on, right? And what's going on with the podcast industry right now, you guys, right? They are at each other's throat. Everybody is grabbing and scratching at everybody, right? You got Charlamayne trying to warn, act, but not wanting to, intel or give detail on who gave him the information. But he was trying to put the young brother up on game and give him a heads up on watching now and watch his back, right? On what's going on. Now, Act took this as acquiesced to go at Charlamayne as far as, if you ain't gonna tell me who did it, then you with it. Like, but that's BS and stupid if you look at it that way, right? Because this is a brother who giving you the information, relaying it to you. Why does it matter who he got it from, right? And why would you want him to give you that information so you can expose it and y'all can't get any more? So that's why I said, like, we have to start paying attention to what's going on, right? And then we get into the brass tacks of, I never really paid attention to when academics was saying the chat ninjas and grand wizard, and I didn't really think about that these are like racist names, right? And racist epithets, stereotypical, type stereotypical type insults, right? Against them. And these are the people that you got with it. Like you said, they figure out now that the one guy, the Grand Wizard, whatever his name is, Chat Ninja, this dude is the Asian dude from Australia. He not even from here, but you could come up with the appetite. You don't even live in this racist and segregated society that we even live in here in America. But I don't know how I don't know how racist it is over there, right? In Australia or whatever, however it's going to other countries, because I'm not there to say. But for you to play into that and they making money off of this, like what's his name? Said Wayno, I have to give a shout out to Wayno for even opening up my eyes more to look more into what's been going on. But I did hear, Act go on his rant about Charlamayne and being mad because Charlamayne wouldn't tell him where he got the information from as far as who told him that Act need to watch his back, right? So Act irritated with him, and he's saying that if you ain't with me, you're against me because he won't tell him this. Well, that's some dumb way of thinking if you ask me, right? But these guys are all tearing at each other. Everybody want to be king. Everybody want to be top dog, right? And it's enough money in it, right, for everybody to eat. And then if you want to be king or feel like you king, it's enough space, right, to carve out here, y'all, and have your own fiefdom. You can do that. You can create your own signature, your own town, your own community, your own fan base, your own universe. You can do that. And those guys got enough power and enough fan base and followings to have people do that, to create that situation, that space that they want, right? Like I said, I want you guys to like, follow, subscribe. on ahead, go to the show, Eski's Opinion on YouTube. Sandre ENT on YouTube. So, like I said, like I'm saying, you want to get, um, you want to get that type of reaction from what you're doing. You can do that in your own space. You don't have to mingle or coexist with nobody or even step on no one else's toes, right? But people ain't happy with that. We gotta have everything. We gotta have it all. And no one man gonna ever have it all, right? Because there's too many different opinions out here. And this thing right here, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, social media, all that stuff has made the world this big. Yes, right? Can't even see in between that. That's small now. That's how close and quick we getting information, right? It's coming across it. So you can't be the only one who control or dominate it all, but that's the trick bag, right? And that's what's gonna have everybody. Why the tech lords, and tech giants are actually controlling everything. Like I heard Charlamayne say the other day about sweat equity, right? And how they're ruling the tech world right now, and they're using our thoughts, feelings, and reactions, and confrontations, and emotions, and fantasies, right? To feed data into this system that they done built and created that got us like zombies. And like I said, we going into these digital plantations every day, and not receiving the dollar for all the money that we actually accumulated and making them. So that's my spiel, you guys, on that part of the game. But I just wanted to say something about that because it kind of bothered me to hear that. So I got one more story that I'm gonna touch on real quick before I bounce out of this place. And that will be the Key and Peele situation, right? You got the Key and Peele split. It's starting to come to light, what really went on with Key and Peele, why it's a division or a divide that has happened between those two guys that you didn't foresee, right? Because of how they got together, how they was working together for years, from Mad TV to the Key and Peele sketch comedy show, and all of the things that they were doing, up until when Peele went off and started doing, his movies, and he started getting producer credits and writing credits on movies with Spike Lee, like the Black Klansman, and so he started getting more into behind the scenes of it, and that must have been, I would say, a passion of his, or a passion that he had, so because he pursued it. And now he come out with his first movie, Get Out. Boom, was a hit. People thought it might have been a fluke, He hit him again, hit him again, hit him again. Boom, now he's a huge director, right? Critically acclaimed, yeah. And Keegan is working, but not on the level of Peele, right? Which, like I said, at first, the saying was that Keegan was the more popular or more projected to be more successful, right, in that duo. But it ended up being, but this is how things work, right? Well, everybody was wondering, like, why, this dynamic was going on. So you got this comedian, right, who worked with both of them. Sketch comedy, and she had her own show, Aquila. If you remember this one, it wasn't that show that she said she was trying to do, but she explained this, but I seen her on another show that she have her hair kind of wild, but Aquila, right, is her name. And she's a comedian and sketch comedy actor. And she was doing her own show, and Michael Keegan, was the executive producer on the show. Well, it sounds like some type of way, or from some type of finagling, they figured out how to get his wife on the show as an executive producer as well, right? And now she's giving input and making decisions and trying to, on the creative side of the show, where it sounds like, anyway, to make a long story short, it sounds like she kind of ruined the girl show. So it never happened. But in the midst of this, Peele's wife ended up giving her a call. She reached out to her and said she did this because she wanted to, forewarn her, because she was someone would have did it to her. So she tell all these things about Keegan's wife and how she's gonna mess up everything, which now, as we see and what Keela see, that it was true. That because she destroyed her show, right? So it sounds like, and she said all the money that she hurt this black man from getting. This is another white woman talking about another white woman, right? Which is striking me as, kind of weird. But look at her black husband and look at her black husband. So it sounds like it's been the wife, you guys. Keegan's wife has been the wedge in between those two, to where I'm gonna say probably even both of their wives are the reason why they're not together, because we don't know who is what, because we're not in the situation. But as far as success status and the way that things are going for Peele over how they're going for Keegan, I'm gonna say Jordan Peele wife is more supportive and following the lead of what he's doing, and Michael Keegan's wife is trying to call the shot. She's putting input, like even the podcast that they did, he's playing second fiddle to her in a space where he's the expert and she isn't, but she's looked at as the expert in this space from what they're doing, and he's looked at as just the performing co-writer, when this is his domain. So the moral of the story is this, you guys: don't mess business and family, right? And that being said is with everybody. It's just not your brothers and cousins and your relatives in that type of way. This is also can be your wife. This can also be your husband. Sometimes it's not a good thing to go into business with relatives, especially someone that close to you. As a husband and as a wife, you're a part of the business regardless, because what is yours is theirs and what's theirs is yours, right? So regardless, without you giving input and trying to have an opinion on something that you don't do, right, you can probably hurt the situation. So it would probably be best if you didn't involve yourself in that and just be supportive. Just be the backbone, like it apparently looks like Jordan Peele's wife is doing. And look at how it's faring. I mean, some of the projects that he's choosing and his talent as well, we're not just saying that this woman being supportive and not butting into his business is the reason why he's successful. Things he's doing is making that as well. The choices that he's making and all of that is actually playing a part into that. So as well, a big part, actually. But sometimes it don't help to do that, So that's my spiel today, you guys. That's all I got for you people. No, let me stop. My family, my Inski's Opinion Universe. Until next time, people, I will try and get back. Well, I'm not gonna even say that because I'm going out of town. If I do get a chance to get a moment to, give you guys an update on some things that's happening throughout this week, I will. But maybe not. I probably won't see you guys until next week, but I will be dropping a couple of clips from this episode, and this full episode is coming this week. So that is my spiel, you got. Inski's Opinion. I am out. Peace.